Oh yes, yeah. Well, one moment. Yes. T.B.Photo X1.5 TFX, and welcome back to another video. Well, I was just here sitting looking in this little old advertising pamphlet by Carl Zeiss let's see where this is from. I can't really find a year on this. I have to take a close look at that. But anyway, what is it so special with this? Well, it contains 12 slides actually. Wait, what the hell is this? Of course we're gonna have the wannabe Top Gear intro. I talk about something that happened in '69, a four-way between Kodak, Hasselblad, Carl Zeiss and NASA. No, not like that, pervert! I compared two expensive cylinders with a crucial difference, so hint, the black one is better. Come on! Not all windows are created equally. One has a very bright future, while the other is just standard. And I'm still sitting in a chair. These 12 slides are basically images taken by the Apollo 11 crew at the first landing on the moon mission from 1969. And so in essence, it's basically 6x6 negative Hasselblad images taken with, I think it's Ektachrome film, so that it has been then resized into 35mm slides by Carl Zeiss and sent out like this as a advertising sheet. So really interesting piece of photo memorabilia in my opinion, and I've taken the liberty of scanning these with my Canon flatbed scanner and done some correction in Adobe Lightroom. Keep in mind, when these were supposed to be shown in a positive projector, slide projector, but these might have aged a bit, so they have an extreme red tint to them. So I did my best to try to correct it in Lightroom post-processing. But anyway, let's go on, shall we? Well, as stated then, this is going to be a bit about Hasselblad and Carl Zeiss, and a bit of a lucky acquisition, I should say. Well, as you all know, I have this camera, which is one of my favorites. It's the Hasselblad 500 ELM. Let's see, this one was factory modified with the ability to use AA batteries, or no, AA batteries, AA batteries, and with a bit of a battery checker as well on the plate here that goes over the battery compartment. And I also have this with the so-called astronaut or NASA trigger or release button on the front here. Yeah, so yeah, brilliant camera. Have used it a lot of times. Produces great images with the Carl Zeiss lenses, and this one also has the metered viewfinder. So yeah, well, what I actually find, I was looking at Tradera, and someone was throwing out a pack of Hasselblad gear, and one of the things that were on it was basically, have a look at this. A Hasselblad 500 ELM with all the leatherette taken off it. So I thought, well, the thing was, it came the camera, this chimney viewfinder, and a lens shroud, and a 250mm Carl Zeiss lens, the silver version. Well, let's just go over the pieces, shall we? Beginning with the lenses. Here, I actually have already a 250mm lens from prior, so why do you have two of them? Well, you have the silver version and the black version. There is actually a very significant difference between these two, even though they are optically the same. This is the older version, and this is a little bit of a newer version. And there is one specific little marking that you should put close attention to on the black version that is absent on the silver version, and that is that this version has the still used Carl Zeiss T-star lens coating, which the silver version does not. But that, I think, is a little bit of a fact that has flown under the radar in a lot of Carl Zeiss lens trivia, because these two are actually many times priced at the same level. So basically you can get either of these two versions for the same price, with the crucial difference that this one has the T-star anti-reflective coating and this one does not. But that means that I can basically I'm planning to keep my T-starred black version and maybe sell off the silver version. So basically, if I sell this off for the price it's actually worth, I have basically paid off what my initial investment. So that was a little bit of a happy accident. And actually another little happy accident was when I started to look at this ELM that I managed to get. Take it off there and take off the... Let's see if I can do something like this. Here was actually the other little thing that was a... This I didn't know, this wasn't shown in any of the pictures, and I actually managed to see this when I first looked at it, and I was, wait a minute, that looks a bit odd, that's not standard. Well, let's take this one as well, take off the back and the let's see here if I can do a little bit of a comparison, like so. As you can see on the black version, there is a much more pronounced black cross on the focusing screen or focusing glass, the ground glass, but not on the silver version. Why is that? Well, it turns out the silver version has been outfitted with an AccuMatte. And for all of you who are Hasselblad fans out there, you know that AccuMatte is basically their more brightly and more a little bit later viewfinders, or rather, yeah, ground glass viewfinders, compared to the standard viewfinder that I have had on my original black 500 ELM. So that was a bit of a happy accident and a little bit of a bonus, I would say, because the AccuMattes, they go basically for almost what I paid for this entire setup. There were some other little pieces of gear in this. Let's see if I can just put this back. So, good. So that was a little bit of a happy accident, so to speak. Also, the chimney viewfinder. Let's see if I can put it back on. Such, and the protective backplate. There we go. Actually has this little collar here that you can turn, and you have a magnification factor on this as well. So just as many of the original top-down viewfinders that are foldable, this one also have a magnifier loop, or a diopter, I would rather say. The only thing is that this one is missing its eye cup, but that's a small price to pay in my opinion. The only thing that was a little bit down then about this one is that it is not modified for using AA batteries. This one I either had to go on eBay and get a battery conversion kit, or battery converter, which is fairly easy to get actually. A lot of people make them. Even you can do 3D printed versions for, I think it's 9-volt batteries and so on, so that's not a problem at all in the slightest. But another tradera seller that I would really recommend you if you're Swedish and looking, a classic camera from Gothenburg, the home of Hasselblad, by the way, and Volvo cars, and Poseidon dive equipment, actually had a piece of kit out on his tradera channel that I thought was, oh, okay, I think I might get that one because it seems a bit cool to have. And what is it? Well, first you have this little side port for that replaces the original. What is this? Something with a little bit of a cylinder on it. Well, it's just half the piece, because here I actually have a wall adapter with a connector that is made for the Hasselblad 500 ELM or 500 EL system, like so, that actually replaces the battery altogether. So this was probably a very good tool for studio photographers. So what we're just gonna do is, let's see here, get a coin, take away the original side, and nothing. Is it broken? Ah, no, I just had this plugged into a wall adapter with a surge protector on it. Let's just turn it out, shall we? It was at this point I knew I'd messed up. Yeah, just kidding. Well, here we go then. Let's hear that wonderful sound. Let's see if we can just do, well, it's such a brilliant sound, this, you know. And the Hasselblad 500 ELM has a bunch of different little what should we say, a little bit of different modes here on the side here. First you have also this little lever here. First you have, if you have batteries, now the camera won't fire because it's on a locked, or L for locked, låst in Swedish, but locked, that means that it is completely bypassed all the electronics. Then you have it on 0 or O, which is basically original on. Then you have timer, or T, which basically means that it will just be open until you turn this little lever back up. So timed exposure. There we go. And then you have here, you have the 0 or O for original. Then you have S, which is a mirror up mode. So now the mirror is up. But when you press this shutter, it will take the image, and then when it will be remade into the mirror down position, which means you can use the viewfinder in order to compose the next image. Then you have SR, which is in the front, and that basically means it will actually raise the mirror and lower the back shutter curtains for every subsequent image. So it won't, now I have it on O, but it will still be down, so you basically have to do a little bit of a workaround to reset the entire system. And then you have A. Well, now I just have it in regular A mode. What does that do? Well, it basically means that if I hold the shutter button in, that means that it will actually be continuous. So for you guys who still have 70mm backs for this one, which has a number of a whole bunch of film in it that you really can take, you know, a sequence of images, then that will be the mode for you if you're gonna do something, you know, even though it's not really that fast, it's a good one if you're maybe a wildlife photographer or something like that. And then you have, what is it, AS. And that is basically continuous with mirror up mode. So this will be something for me, basically, that this silver version might become a little bit more of a studio camera with this attachment. So yeah, I thought it was a bit of a fun investment, so it's gonna be a little bit of a learning curve as everything, but I think that this one with some studio strobes and some little bit of a creative mindset that I'm starting to get back into with photography, this will be a really brilliant little studio setup with the all silver one with the AccuMatte screen and the, you know, what was this one? I think it's actually, yeah, made in Norway. So this was probably outsourced by Hasselblad to be made in Norway. It says Hasselblad power supply type 682, 220 volts AC, 50 hertz, 25 watts. And this will go down to 6 volts and 1 amp maximum load. Made in Norway. They don't make things like this anymore. Another reason to really enjoy, you know, this type of old school photography. These things were really made to last a lifetime. These will last my life and subsequent generations to come. So as long as we have people, craftsmen, artisans and so on, who can keep these old cameras working in great condition and so on, they are meant to last. They are really good. I have 2 electric Hasselblads and I have not had any problems with them thus far. So yeah, I think that's gonna be all for me for now. A little bit of an overview. Maybe we're gonna do a case study in the future. I also managed to get this. Is actually a original Hasselblad leather case for Hasselblad camera gear specifically. So I think I'm gonna do a little bit of a video in the future, maybe about maybe a bit about cases and storage for photographic equipment. So tell me in the comment section below what your thoughts about that is. Camera bags and camera cases, I would probably say. That might be something for a future episode. What do you think? And also a little bit, what is your, you know, opinions about the different Hasselblad makes and models? Anyway, from all the way back from the Hasselblad F series with focal plane shutters exclusively, to the 500 series and the 2000 series, and even the H1 series, the H series of Hasselblad cameras, the transitional periods between film and digital, with the, you know, a little bit of the hybrids there. So yeah, anyway, I think that's all for me for now, and this is Tobias Bergström from T.B.Photo X1.5 to FX, and I'd like to see you guys in the next video. And as always, please like, share, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. So take care from now on. Bye.